Hello, everybody, and welcome to the... Is this the 7th episode?
Don't ask me these things.
I don't know. It's after 5. It's the episode after 5.
It's One Piece was 4?
Oh, shit, okay, it's the 6th episode of,
It's our month-and-a-half anniversary.
Oh my god. Of Comics on Comics, the podcast, the show, because no one listens to it on Spotify.
I don't think we even post it anymore.
I forgot to for this last one, yeah. Anyways, today we always say we are reading. We already did it. Uzumaki.
We are reading Uzumaki by Junji Ito.
Yeah. Which you've heard of. But we don't really need to explain it, I'm sure.
I mean, it's very famous.
Really famous.
For no reason.
Oh
my god, there's a fly.
Oh.
That was the most pitiful attempt you've ever seen at killing a bug.
The thought of doing this right now. We both had a really long day.
Yeah, I had the longest day.
I think I had the longest I've ever had. But
it's all Junji Ito's fault.
Yeah. Seriously, I can't look at snails anymore.
I didn't finish it till today, which never happens to me. I'm always, good about that.
I finished it last night, next to Oscar, in fact.
Hmm?
I finished it, standing next to you.
Oh, okay. Right. Oh. Anyway, is there any life updates?
Life updates.
Things got worse.
Yeah, it's just bad life. Life's bad. Don't go to college, guys.
I'm so stressed out
It's,
right now.
really stupid. We could be doing this without any college. The thing that you guys like that we're able to do, college did not help.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, we're reading... I really like Junji Ito. I've read a lot of his stuff.
I've read Uzumaki.
I've read quite a bit of Junji Ito, and I'm a big fan of his. When this is out, I may or may not have posted a video series about him. Definitely didn't, to be honest. Definitely didn't do that.
I have read a lot of horror comics.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's as relevant as reading his own comic.
But I also feel like Junji Ito has a very definitive style that he does that I really, really like. Anyway, Uzumaki is one of his few works that is quite long. It's 19 chapters. The only thing he's ever written, I think, that has seen any sort of popularity that is this length is something called Tomi.
Oh, I've heard of Tomi. I saw the trailer for it, for the anime they made.
Oh, really?
Cool.
Yeah. So, Tomi, but most of the things he writes are just short, 1 to 7 chapters.
Yeah. This was long, but it didn't feel... I mean, I kind of flew through it.
It's a big departure for him.
Yeah.
You know?
You can tell he's never made a long story before.
Well, because it's just basically a bunch of 1-chapter stories.
And then at the end, he's like, wait, no, it's a story.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay.
Clearly someone made him do this.
Yeah.
So, what do you think this was about?
I think this was about a town that is cursed by a spiral, and people keep turning into spirals in different ways and then dying horrifically, and then the next chapter starts.
Yeah. By the way, a little note. This book is called Uzumaki Spiral into Horror. Should be called Spiral into Madness.
Right.
That would be so much better. Am I wrong?
I don't think you're wrong. I don't even know that... This is obviously in the horror genre, but I don't know that it is scary.
Yeah.
It is disturbing.
But Spiral into Madness is a phrase.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And madness, I feel... Horror, sort of... You're spiraling into being scared and frightful. But that's not really what happens here.
And Junji Ito likes showing people being crazy.
He really likes showing people
justifiably crazy.
Yeah.
Which is scary.
He likes... People in this book are scary even before the curse gets to them.
Yeah.
Because they're just so crazy.
But before we get into that...
Yeah.
What do you think this was really about?
What do I think this was really about? The whole time I was reading this, and I was like, okay, what are the spirals a symbol for? What is all this? Nothing. I don't think it's about anything. I think it's about nothing.
Yeah.
I think it's just a story that he wants to tell.
It's a story meant to creep you out.
Yeah. I was like, because the way it's written, it really does seem like the spirals probably mean something, but they don't.
But it's even scarier because they're meaningless.
They're meaningless.
It is
an infinite loop, as the end declares.
It has no will. It's just simply doing, which is terrifying.
I'm glad it has no will, though, because there were some chapters there towards the end where it seemed like they were going to give this weird curse, some conscious... That would have been really dumb.
Yeah, especially if Kairi and Shuichi figured out a way to, overcome it. It
would have been, really annoying.
Yeah. But I really like the way it's handled, because when we give our object of horror any way we can relate to it, it cheapens it. So,
sure.
With the spirals, I can't...
Wait, what?
So, if the spirals were personified...
Oh, okay.
It would be easier to attach to them.
I thought you meant the people.
If the spirals were personified, it would be easier to attach to them and relate to them, and they wouldn't be as scary. But since they're so mysterious, we have no idea what's going on. We are just left to wonder and come up with our own theories.
Yeah.
And often our own imagination is scarier than anything you could ever write.
It's honestly really, I hate saying this.
Yeah.
It's really Lovecraftian in that sense.
It is.
It's really Lovecraftian.
It's really good.
Yeah, it's kind of like... I don't know if it's cosmic horror. No, it basically is.
It's just cosmic horror in the sense that
We
the
don't know
fear
what it's from.
it's the fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's so unpredictable. This book is, you have no idea what the fuck is about to happen.
No, because it wasn't even a story at first. It was like an anthology at first, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then they established returning characters. And then one of the... You remember that girl that... what's her name again? The main character girl. What is her name?
Kyrie?
Kyrie has a friend in her school, right?
Yeah. Who's
just a returning character, who's minor. And then one day, she also becomes... like really scary with the hair.
Yeah.
That was fun.
I like
cool.
that. There was like randomly, I don't know if you remember, but little like the last chapter, one of Kyrie's friends showed back up. And it was like, who the fuck are you?
Also, the fucking reporter should not have been a character.
Sorry, that's what I meant. The
reporter should not have been a character.
He showed back up and it's like...
I don't care.
I literally forgot who he was.
I think that's the main problem in this book, is that, like, it starts out as this, like, atmospheric, like, this town is really scary, these people are really weird, and it's really fun to read. But then it dives into this story, which isn't inherently uninteresting, right? Like, there's some cool lore. But I guess I just don't care as much because the atmosphere is more what is interesting and more what his talent lies in, I think.
He develops the atmosphere, but then he also tries to develop characters you're attached to, and it's just like, I literally don't care.
Like, I don't care. They all don't have like, their only personality is that they're, like, innocent or not. And I'm like, I sympathize with the innocent people just as, like, a basic function, but that's about it.
This is an interesting question. Which was your favorite chapter?
Probably the hair one, honestly. I thought that was really clever.
Cool.
Because it was, the thing about the hair one is that the girl who does the hair, which I don't know her name.
I can check really quick.
This... Not the only one, but one of the few ones where she basically was like... Obviously, she was cursed by the spiral, so she wanted to compete with Kiri or whatever, because the spiral has some weird attachment to Kiri, which they never explained and I thought was stupid. But,
well, I think it's just because she lives in the town.
Yeah. I just think it's cool how self-motivated the hair thing was.
Uh-huh.
This is when I first started to think, oh, maybe there's more behind this. Because I'm like, oh, maybe all these people in this town have, like, some, like, insane character flaws. The spiral gets them. And...
Sakino.
Obviously that doesn't come to fruition, but it was still a really cool chapter.
Yeah, her name is Sakino, and it's interesting because she has these inherent personality traits that the spiral is exacerbating.
That's what I thought the whole book was trying to make.
But it is.
Yeah.
Because the father, the original spiral guy, Shuichi's father...
Fucking weirdo, dude.
He was just... His personality was being exacerbated by the spiral.
He was a weirdo.
He was really weird. And then that happened to everybody. To the point where all of their personality traits were so exaggerated that they just became one person again.
Yeah, it's really scary.
Yeah.
I didn't like the snail thing.
The snail thing was terrifying.
It was really, really disturbing.
It was really disturbing.
Dude,
okay, there's a portion in this where you get a spiral on your back and then you slowly stop being able to move quickly and you turn into a snail. And then they started to...
At first, it's like one chapter.
Society then becomes post-apocalyptic and the only reliable source of food is eating the snails.
And they love it.
They love eating the snails. But the scariest thing was last night, we were all hanging out, like me, Max, and my girlfriend was like, oh my god, I'm so tired, I can't move very quickly. And we were both like, don't say that.
Because the reason that you become a snail in this book is if you move slow.
You move
literally.
And I was like, stop it.
This book is very literal with its curses.
Yeah. My favorite chapter, I think, was the hurricane chapter. I thought it was really interesting how...
Which one? The one where it's like keeps repeating it on the news.
The one where the hurricane just wants to kill Kyrie.
Yeah, because the hurricane lasted a while.
Yeah, no, I mean the first hurricane thing.
Okay.
Where the hurricane was literally saying her name.
Yeah, that was
looking
cool.
for her.
I liked that one.
It was terrifying because the storm was personified.
Yeah.
And it had a will, but you could not understand its motivations.
Also, hurricanes are really scary.
Yeah.
Natural disasters and stuff like that.
The entire force of a natural disaster concentrated on one human being is terrifying.
Like, we as humans already can't do anything about natural disasters. Yeah. And now you make it a curse that a whole book is about, and about one person.
Yeah, and it's trying its hardest.
Really scary.
I was like, oh, this is kind of creepy. And then it did the thing where it blew a rock into a mirror so it could look under a passageway to see her.
That was really cool.
That was terrifying.
That was really terrifying, and it was drawn really well, but also I kind of groaned at that, and I'm like, okay, come on. Like, how conscious is this curse?
Very apparently.
Like, come on!
Dude.
But yeah, it was really
scary.
Cool. It was drawn really well. It was clever. What do you think about the ending?
The very end?
Yeah. Spoiler alert, by the way. We're done. We've been talking pretty vaguely, I think.
I thought it was somewhat unsatisfying, but I think it was impossible to really end.
I think the point was for it to be unsatisfying, but it doesn't make it any less annoying.
I would have liked to see... What is this town called? Kuzurucho? Like, I would like to see it... I would like to see it happen the first time. What I thought was going to happen is, like, they were going to, like, the town would become a spiral. Shuichi was like, okay, this is innate to this land. Like, it happens all the time. And then I wanted it to show me the first time. And I thought that would have been a cool way to end it.
I think for me, what made it so annoying was, like, at the end, there was all this, like, stuff revealed about the spiral and its true nature, but also nothing was revealed. Like, we didn't learn anything. And then also, what's the guy's name again?
The guy?
Yeah.
Shuichi,
right. The whole book, he's, like, some chapters, he's not really in it, but, like, you know he's in the background.
Yeah.
Like, trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
But then he doesn't fucking know anything, and I'm like, why did you keep having him go crazy, and it seems like he knows something, but he never does.
Yeah, but he's, like...
He was really weird.
Yeah, but he was also, like... This is what Junji Ito likes to do. Is like, he was acting like an insane person.
But he's the most sane of them.
But he was right the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really scary because, really, like, scary. It's priming you to think, like...
Yeah, because Kiri doubts it every chapter. Every chapter, she's like, oh no, it's not the spiral. It's just some new weird thing.
Towards the end, she's like...
Towards
the end, she's like, oh, it's okay.
Yeah, when the apocalypse starts.
Yeah. But anyway, he's always right, and it's creepy because... He does that to be like, oh, the people who you think are crazy in real life, they could be right.
Yeah.
They would seem crazy, but they're right. Yeah.
It's really... I think this book's also, like, the power of symbols. Obviously, the spiral is the biggest symbol here. Symbols are really scary.
Yeah.
Like, taking this thing and it tells us, it beats us over the head with it. This is a scary thing, and it's right. Like, in the later parts of the book, anytime there's a spiral, I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
And it's really effective.
One thing I noticed that I really liked, is if you look at, like, the first, like, beginning pages, like, in the grass, it's all spirally, like, literally the second page.
It's really nice.
And then in, like, chapter 17... Or 16, they notice. They're like,
yeah.
Has the grass always been like this?
It's really weird. I think if I read it again, I'd probably notice more spirals.
It's really cool. One of the highlights of this book is obviously just the illustrations. I mean, Junji Ito is so good at drawing.
I think most, if not all of this, could be read without any text, with basically the same understanding. Like, I don't know that the dialogue really ever does anything. I think he's actually really good at dialogue. Particularly good at dialogue, actually. Horror comics usually have really bad dialogue because they're just like, this is art. I think his character spoke pretty naturally.
Oh, yeah.
I appreciated it. But also, it didn't matter.
The shots of the first time the dad gets spiraled, or his cremation.
What happened to the mom, by the way? Because I forget. Like, she's dead.
Yeah.
But
she killed herself.
She just kills herself? Okay.
She don't you remember? She stabbed her ear.
Oh, right.
And then she got vertigo.
Yeah.
Until she died.
Vertigo, which is a circle.
Which is a spiral.
Yeah.
It was really scary.
And this would have been less scary if it was, like, about circles, not spirals. Is there something inherent about the... Because spirals aren't complete.
They're ambiguous.
They don't finish.
Yeah.
They don't make sense to us.
Yeah. But also the body horror wouldn't be the same. Yeah, it was just a circle.
Are spirals naturally occurring?
I mean, yeah, like whirlpools.
Yeah. That's weird. That's a weird shape to naturally occur. It's weird. Yeah. It only happens when there's, like, weird shit going on.
I guess so.
Whirlpools are weird.
Yeah. But I think what I was trying to say before is, like, sure, we can look at these, like, huge spreads that are really well illustrated and say, oh, the art's so good. But I think the panel-to-panel art is what really makes this tick. The way he draws the dad before the spiral stuff, really scary.
The way he draws...
Even when he's just a normal guy.
The way he draws old people in general is really scary. The way he draws kids is... like, whatever.
Yeah.
The way he draws old people, like, with their wrinkle, like, people can picture it. You've seen, like, a scary illustration of, like, a person. It's really effective.
But, yeah. And he's really good at drawing, like, insanity. Like, you can tell Suichi's going insane.
He's going crazy.
This makes me so happy. It's so effective at just being a comic.
Yeah, it's a really good comic.
It's just like, here's a thing that happened and here's how people feel about it. But it's perfectly exaggerated.
So, I didn't do that much research for this one, by the way. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Mm-hmm. We Oscar and I didn't do a lot of research because we were like, this is a good book. Let's just talk about it.
I didn't do any research because I didn't have time.
I was making that up. Wasting my time. But from what I did research, he had a different idea about spirals or something, and then it became this book. So it seems like the galaxy thing, like there's a bonus chapter here, but it's also like a hidden chapter. It's not just a bonus chapter. And I think that was like his idea or something. Mm-hmm. I don't really know what it was, but yeah.
That was probably the pitch.
Yeah, really didn't want to like the bonus chapter. Maybe if the bonus chapter came first, I probably would have been fine with it. Really didn't like it.
One thing that Junji Ito does really well, though, is, like, showing how close normal people are to going insane. Like, how little it takes.
Yeah, because they're all normal at first.
they're all normal at first. Even his dad.
Yeah. I think that's why the snail one's so disturbing too, because the teacher in the snail one, right? The way it is that there is like this kid that comes into a classroom one day, and every day he comes back and his back is like more and more sore, and eventually he turns into a snail. And then the kid that's bullying him also turns into a snail, and it's like, okay, that was a really cute chapter, but I guess it's over. But no, the next day, the teacher, who was totally sane and like a guiding force throughout the whole chapter, comes in, just also a snail.
And then they
really
just
cements it.
Crawling around the walls of the school.
It's really freaky.
It's really freaky. Because there's no reason.
Oh my god. The other really scary thing about this book, and is obviously something that horror does all the time, but like everyone, all the bystanders in this, everyone that isn't directly part of it, they're just like, yeah, that guy's a snail now.
They don't react to it.
They don't
properly.
react at all, which obviously makes it more scary.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, he's a snail. I don't understand.
But also it makes sense they don't react because weird shit is always happening in this town.
Yeah, that's the implication.
They've kind of come to expect it.
Yeah. Because, like, the main character's family, shit keeps happening to her and her family. They're not doing anything about it. Her dad goes insane in, like, chapter 5, basically, and then just stays insane for the whole book.
He gets really obsessed with making pottery from the pond.
It's really smart that they didn't... He's the first person who encounters the curse, the spiral, but he doesn't die. Mm-hmm. He just goes crazy. It's really cool.
Yeah. Well, he dies eventually.
Well, yeah, well, they all do. Okay. They all die in the end.
Yeah.
Literally everyone dies in the end.
So cool.
It's really cool.
It's really cool. The ending is really cool.
There's like this, it's a giant splash page of this like inside the spiral, I guess. It's really cool.
Because like the implication when they go down the spiral staircase at the end is not only are they shrinking spatially, but they're shrinking temporally.
It doesn't make any sense.
So
it's on purpose.
They spend all of time just as a spiral.
But they also spend no time. Yeah. There's like 3 chapters in the book where they're going through a forest, like they're hiking, right? Trying to escape. And then it's like, none of that happens, technically speaking, because of the way time works. Mm-hmm. Which is, really fun. Really cool. Really cool.
They've been hiking for years.
They've been hiking for years, apparently. Also, there's a fucking reporter there. Can we talk? Okay. Towards the end, as it gets more plot heavy, right? There's like this car that's driving into town with like 3 reporters, and only one of them survives, and she's just this random girl. And then she's just a main character, and I don't know why.
No, yeah, I don't know.
I didn't really get it.
I understand why people couldn't leave, but I didn't understand why he kept having people come.
Yeah. I think a better way... Oh my god, can we do like, how would we rewrite this book?
Yeah, sure.
I think I would reorient it. I think that the way it's formatted now is the first half basically is an anthology, right? Which is loosely connected, but you're not really supposed to think it's connected. And then it becomes a full story. I feel like it works better if you do anthology, but then you drop in a plot chapter, and then you do more... Like, I feel like it has to be more even.
Maybe, but I also think a simple change could be, spirals, it's an ever-increasing... It's a circle with an ever-increasing radius, right? Yeah. Which means people from the outside trying to approach the center have, like, an infinite distance to cross.
Yeah, it gets farther and farther.
So I think it could make sense if no one could ever get there.
Yeah, it doesn't really make any sense that no one can escape, but people can just walk in.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
It would make sense if, like, a reporter... Like, there was a chapter of a reporter trying to get in and just couldn't.
It's also interesting because it really makes you think. Because the reporter wants to get in because she's just assuming something weird's going down in this town. But also the implication of the ending is that something weird's been going on in this town forever. Yeah. But also the town exists, like...
Outside of time.
Outside of time. But also, like, Japan knows about... Like, they send a army. So it doesn't... Like, it doesn't make sense at the end on purpose.
I think
it's really unsatisfying, but I have to accept it being unsatisfying.
Yeah. But it's also cool because he did drop in these like, points of history where no one knows where the row houses came from. No one knows about the history of this town at all. Yeah. And then you know why.
It's because
there isn't
a history.
Yeah.
Really creepy.
It's really creepy. It kind of begs the question how the people even got there in the first place.
It just I read a Reddit thing where they are suggesting that these people, like Kiri and Surishi, they die together every time. Like,
It just keeps happening. It's a spiral.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, that could have been a cool story where like, they're the ones that always fall in love and find out and then die together or something. That's interesting.
I did like how in love they were.
They were really in love. They don't talk ever, and I love that. I love relationships in like, media where it's like, we're not going to tell you how they like each other. They're just, like, they like each other. Just trust us.
Yeah, I mean, like, Kairi's always being so nice to him.
Yeah, and they're like kids. They're cute.
Shuichi's always looking out for her.
Yeah. Yeah. Except when he's calling her stupid, which he does a lot.
Well, that's just because the stakes are high.
Yeah, the stakes are really high.
Do you want to talk about the pregnant women arc?
I mean, like, not like...
That was really creepy.
I didn't get why that was the worst.
It was creepy. That's why.
Yeah, I didn't like that one.
Really, why?
It was too creepy for me, I guess. I don't know. Because it was also, like, didn't make... Like, why did the baby start talking?
Because they're not normal babies.
Well, I gathered that much. I don't know. That one was just...
So, let's just go through the plot here of that.
Of that pregnant lady chapter?
So, Kairi is in the hospital because she sustained a lot of injuries from her prior encounter, which, whatever it was. I think it was the hair one.
Yeah.
She sustained a lot of injuries, so she's in the hospital. And also in the hospital is her cousin. I don't remember her name, but she's pregnant. And there's a lot of pregnant women in the hospital.
There's also a lot of mosquitoes in the hospital.
And there's also a lot
It's a hot summer.
Also a lot of murder
Yeah.
in the hospital. And then you basically find out that the pregnant women are the ones doing all of the murdering, and they drink the blood of the other victims, like a mosquito does when it's pregnant.
Yeah.
And it helps develop the fetus better. And then no one will believe Kairi that the pregnant women are the ones doing it. They're doing it with hand drills, by the way, which is...
That doesn't make any sense.
the most terrifying way they could do it.
It's so scary.
It's so scary.
Because, like, there's holes in all these women's bodies, and you're like, where did the holes come from if they're sucking the blood? Because they establish really early on who's doing the murders. It's really obvious really early on.
Yeah.
But you don't know why or how. And it's just, they're using hand drills.
They're using hand drills to emulate having a mosquito sucker.
Yeah.
It's really scary.
One thing I did think while reading the chapter, actually, was like, oh, this is kind of cool, because he's kind of doing, like, a vampire story, but he's, like, with my weird body horror spiral shit.
Yeah.
Which does happen a few times, actually.
Mm-hmm.
He does, like, kind of different genres, but with his weird shit, which I liked a lot.
Yeah. Anyway, what I really liked about it is there was this idea that not only was the doctor in on it, but there was this whole plan to overdevelop babies in the womb and then put them back.
It doesn't make any sense.
It was just so weird.
It's so weird. Wouldn't they want to underdevelop them?
I don't know.
Also, all the women gave birth on the same day, and the doctor's like, I really have enjoyed this season's pregnant women, and I'm like, does every year, do all your women give birth on the same, you time it like this every time?
It was really creepy.
It was really creepy.
And,
a lot of pregnant women in that really small town.
And there was like, oh my god, the mushrooms.
Which were not mushrooms.
The mushrooms were the...
placenta.
That started growing like plants.
Yeah.
Like, the babies kept developing new placentas. It was terrifying.
They were trying to make
And they were feeding them to people without telling them.
I think I guess they were trying to make some, like, weird nature
It's just
point.
really
It was
gross.
just weird.
Oh my god, do you think it was because, like, it's the cycle of life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was disgusting.
It was really good. It was really good.
Yeah. Oh my god, and it never ends because the baby goes back to be born again.
Yeah.
Like a spiral.
Yeah. It's really creepy. Dude, that's exactly why he made it, so you wouldn't like it.
No, it's so scary, guys. You don't understand. Like, they're eating mushrooms the whole chapter, and then the doctor literally says, almost word for word, no, that's placenta.
Yeah.
Like, basically, that's just what he says.
Like, the mushrooms have healing properties, and they taste like meat, and Kairi's like, I'm not fucking eating that.
Everyone in this book...
you learn why it has healing properties.
Everyone in this book says things so bluntly, like the most insane things, like, oh yeah, that's placenta. They just say it so bluntly.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing, but it really adds to it.
I like that style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. I like it. Also, actually, the end of the pregnant chapter also had a really funny moment where, as she's trying to escape the hospital, she, like, falls down the stairs.
And then she's in the hospital.
And then her mom's like, are you joking? It's really funny. Bad shit just keeps happening to her.
Yeah, I think that's the point of the book.
That's kind of the point of a lot of horror, right? Like, they take this small town, and they're like, let's just put a bunch of bad shit here, and then some characters that you really like, and it'll be cool. But Junji Ito's...
Junji Ito.
Junji Ito. Wait, say it again?
Junji Ito.
Junji Ito. I think this book, in particular, was different, because I didn't really like any of the characters, even the main ones. Didn't really care if they lived or died. To be totally transparent with you.
Yeah, I mean, you're not supposed... I don't think...
The book was about the atmosphere, and I really liked it.
I think it's interesting. One thing that the ending really implies, I think, is Shuichi and Kairi end up doing spiral shit. Like, they end up fully succumbing to the spiral. It sort of implies they would have had a better life if they just not fought it, like everyone else.
Right, because if you parallel that with... There's an earlier chapter where they're trying to help, like, some kids in their grade escape because they want to date, but their parents aren't letting them. And then those kids spiral, and they seem pretty fine with it.
They're having sex.
They do it voluntarily. It's really weird. They're like, he goes to the girl, he's like, now do it, and then their bodies are like...
Yeah.
It's really weird.
Consistently, those who submit to it are way happier than those who don't. Like, the dad...
Yeah.
But also the kids who are, like, the twister gangs.
Except at the end, when submitting means living in that house. And, like, people, they don't seem too happy.
But they didn't seem unhappy.
They didn't seem unhappy. They were just like, okay, this is my life now.
Because I think they just sort of, like, became one.
Yeah. It's really scary.
I really liked it.
It
was really well written.
I'm really happy that we read this.
Yeah.
It's been sitting on my, like, desk for a really long time. I haven't read it.
That's why I chose it.
Yeah.
I feel bad when we read manga because Max always buys it, and this one Max wouldn't have to buy.
Oscar doesn't make me buy it. I just,
No, but you always do.
Yeah, because I don't know. I feel weird not having it.
No, I know, but this was a good choice.
This was a great choice.
Do you want to talk about the bonus chapter?
Okay,
Did you see this, by the way?
Yeah, I saw it.
So cool.
Okay, let's talk about the bonus chapter. So the bonus chapter, basically, after you've read, like, a whole giant completion chapter in which they purposely establish that the whole thing is over, and that the whole book is over, and that there's no explanation for anything, and that you should just be done reading it, and that you're going to be left unsatisfied and scared, because that's the point of what he was writing. They just write another chapter that takes place at a different point of time, and it's
before
space.
everything.
Yeah, or after everything. We don't actually know.
It's definitely before everything.
And I really hated it, because it was so unnecessary. Because the ending was unsatisfying enough, right? But we've established it was intentional, right? We understand that it's an intentionally unsatisfying ending. But then you don't have to go loop around and give me more unsatisfying lore from the beginning that still doesn't really group in with the rest of the book that well.
I didn't hate it.
You didn't hate it, but you didn't think it was necessary.
It's obviously necessary, but none of them were necessary, to be honest.
None of the chapters?
Dude, this is not a plot-based book.
Right, the book could have not existed.
You could have taken out the first 10, dude.
Yeah, you could have not published the book.
Oh my god. You know what I mean.
I also just didn't leave it that good. I don't know. Basically, the bonus chapter is, Surichi discovers, like, a spiral galaxy. Like, he discovers a new galaxy. And then he just, like, goes to an astronomer and is like, look, I found a new galaxy.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, yeah, you did. And it's totally normal. Like, just this kid
it's not normal.
Found a galaxy. No, I mean, it's normal. Like, the teacher does not react that insanely.
I mean, he thinks it's pretty insane.
He thinks it's cool.
Then it's absolutely amazing. He said... Dude,
yeah.
He's so excited.
Dude, it should be... If you were a teacher and your kid walked up to you and said, I found a new galaxy, would you give it higher praise than that's absolutely amazing?
He didn't Dude, look. What? You discovered a new galaxy? That's quite unlikely.
Okay, whatever. So what did you like about the chapter?
So, Junji Ito thinks space is really scary.
Everyone thinks space.
He thinks space is really scary. And he was probably... Either before he wrote this, whenever he came up with a spiral idea, he thought, this spiral is so scary, it's so intrinsic to nature, even galaxies are in spirals. And then he was like, what if, since the spiral is so fundamental to what we think of as life, it affected us from so far away?
No, I get all of that. I just don't understand why I have to read it after I've read the whole book.
You don't have to read it.
I know, but I did. I just think I think maybe I have a fundamental issue with the concept of a bonus chapter.
I just read it like it was one of the chapters of the beginning.
It was good. I think I have a... This is interesting. I think this is a very valid opinion for me to hold.
No one said it isn't.
Like, the concept of the bonus chapter to me, I understand it, right? By the way, I think it's almost definitely just a publishing thing.
Probably.
Because of just how publishing schedules work. They need something that week. But, I don't think it should tie into the plot. I don't know. Of the bonus chapters I've read, like the other one for I married my best friend was also really weird.
Yeah.
You know what? Comics have a similar... Western comics, at least superhero ones, they have annuals, because technically, like, the way publishing works is there's, like, 13 months, because of the way the cycle works, for some reason.
Okay.
So...
Bro was using the lunar calendar.
In January, they publish an annual, which is, like, the series gets X-Men Annual #1, so it's, like, not X-Men, it's X-Men Annual. It's a bonus thing, basically. And everyone hates them most of the time. Sometimes Marvel will, like, run events in their annuals, which is the dumbest thing ever.
I don't know. I didn't hate it so much. He wrote this really good comic. Dude, this is like 3 for 6 now.
Maybe it's on purpose. Maybe it's a running joke I started and you don't get it. Do you know what happened yesterday, guys?
You get it.
I walked
all over yourself.
I walked into the apartment and, like, 2 seconds later, I'm sure Oscar heard a big crash and then me screaming, "Oh fuck!" Oscar's like, "What happened?" And I'm like, "Nothing. It's just I spilled my entire water bottle in my bed." What were we about to talk about?
I was about to tell you. Hold on.
While Oscar's drinking water, I have a lot of thoughts on the new Ultimate Universe, and there's gonna be a TikTok about it soon. If you want to watch that, if you don't want to watch it, don't. I don't give a fuck.
Probably already posted.
No, I said soon very explicitly. I know when this goes up. You think I have time next week to make that TikTok?
Why wouldn't you?
I'm busy.
What's happening next week?
Next week I have to start all my final essays. This weekend's my last weekend. Yeah.
Well, make sure you're free a week from now.
I will be. Guys, I'm writing an essay about the concept of intermissions. Get excited.
If you guys are in the future, let me know how Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Wave 6 is.
Oh my god. We're gonna be
Wait, what?
We're gonna be recording on the day it comes out.
Oh yeah.
What if we record after?
What are we gonna record?
We could record whatever we read and then also about Mario Kart. Oscar's like, that's the dumbest suggestion I've ever heard.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, okay, we will do it. If you guys are also in the future, tell us how it is. Not it like Mario Kart, I mean the future.
Oh.
Are we still alive?
No, so Junji Ito wrote this comic, I really liked it. It's called Hellstar Romina. And basically, what it's about is that, like, so this guy discovers...
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Really?
I have heard of this.
Why?
Because I know comics.
What have you heard, though? Tell me what you heard.
That it's like a space horror thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Junji Ito likes to do this thing where, like, when we assign ourselves to the cosmos, it's, like, immoral because of how ancient the cosmos are, and it fucks with us back. That's what he likes to do. He likes to have, like, the universe punish humans, and that's what he's doing here, because Shuichi and all these people are over-idolizing the spiral that occurs in nature, and so it fucks with them, because it has the ability to assert its own will onto people.
That's way more interesting than what the actual explanation for the spiral is.
What do you mean?
I mean, what the book said, like the chapter before, like the actual, like the book, the 1 to 19.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, oh, it's just a thing.
Well, it's still a symbol that's able to assert its will on people.
But I feel like I still hate the bonus chapter. But if the whole thing was based on that, it would be maybe better.
Well, maybe one day we'll read Hellstar Romina.
Sure.
They only sell it hardcover. I'm really upset about that. I don't want it hardcover. I like paperback.
Why?
Because I don't want to pay more for hardcover. It's also 7 chapters.
But you're not paying more if they only sell it.
But Max, do you understand? It's not even half the length of this, and it's hardcover.
Yeah, but it looks nicer.
But that's stupid. It's not long enough. He also made this one called The Liminal Zone, which is 4 chapters long.
I refuse to read that. I hate liminal stuff.
It isn't about that at all.
Okay, that's fine.
It's 4 chapters long, and they also only sell it hardcover.
Do you also hate the stupid liminal space trend?
Trend?
Yeah, of making, like, movies or comics or whatever about existing in, like, the back rooms or whatever.
The back rooms are stupid.
It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Oh my god. I just opened to such a scary
You opened to the
guys.
Pregnant ladies.
Look at this. Do we have to put, like, is YouTube gonna, like...
Content warning.
I don't want to look at it right now!
Content warning, horror comic.
You ever say, I gotta itch my, like if you have an itch, do you say, can you itch my back for me or something?
Yeah, I asked Carol to itch my back.
Yeah, you don't say scratch, though, right? Like, no one says the right word for that.
Why is...
Because itch isn't the right... It's scratch. You scratch an itch. You don't itch an itch. An itch is the sensation.
Okay. Fucking... What is this?
I was just thinking it's interesting. Because I say
cares,
itch.
though?
I don't care. Who cares about our fucking thoughts on Uzumaki?
Clearly no one.
We're here to talk. Oh yeah, no, because we have no views on this video yet.
Yeah.
As of right now.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think there's that much to talk about with this book. It's just clear cut. It's good.
It's good, yeah.
It's really well made. Junji Ito's really good at writing, really good at drawing.
If I reread it with the intention to do a deep analysis in mind, I'm sure I could, but I didn't.
But I don't think this is a book that needs to be
deeply
analyzed.
I don't think it should be.
Because the art is in the presentation.
Sure.
He's really good at not explaining things.
I don't like how he draws some faces sometimes. I'm not going to lie to you.
When?
Some of these sometimes when the faces are just looking right at you, although that's kind of a problem of comics. This is kind of weird looking.
Anyway, but he's really good at not explaining things.
Yeah.
He knows when to stop explaining things to you.
The biggest problem, obviously, with doing that is, like, sometimes you can never tell when the artist just was like, oh, I don't know the explanation, so I'm done. Or when it was intentional. This one is clearly intentional, but I would understand if the ending doesn't work for some people. I think it's definitely a controversial ending. Is it? I wouldn't know.
I don't know.
I would assume. Also, there are some pages that are colored.
Dude, I like
I like them a lot.
I like how dynamic the paneling is.
Yeah, it's fun.
He allocates space very intentionally on the page.
Actually, can we talk about coloring?
Sure.
I know that manga is black and white just because it is. It just is. Wouldn't be scary if it was in color.
No.
It just, actively wouldn't be scary in color.
No.
So, yeah, I just wanted to say that.
I dislike the colored pages. I wish they weren't there.
I thought they were pretty. The shading, also, he knows it wouldn't be good in color because the shading he does here is really intense.
Yeah.
Way more intense than you have to do for a comic. It's very purposefully...
he always is doing this. He loves...
Yeah.
Oh my God. The snails are so scary.
They're so scary.
I really, but, the paneling is so intentional. He gives... He really thinks about what he wants to give the space to.
I also really like the cover pages.
Mm-hmm.
Each chapter has its, cover page, which is, normal, but they're very good.
They're very good.
This would have just been the cover of, the single issue, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh my God. The warts was so scary.
Yeah, there was
just, they move into a row house, which is the only type of building that doesn't get destroyed by...
And it's also, it's like a shack. It's think of,
Yeah, there's
shack.
no running water or electricity or even a bathroom. It's just like a shack. And their next door neighbors are really weird. And there's, holes in all their clothes, and they don't come out, and they don't talk, and it's like a grandma and her son is, people say he's a monster.
Yeah.
And then the family starts getting warts, and they look like thorns, and they have this spiral pattern, and then it turns out that the neighbor is just, a thorny...
He's just, dying.
He's just, a big wart.
Yeah, it's really scary.
It's really scary.
When they did move into that row house, they spent a lot of time talking about how it's where, the poorest of the poor live.
Yeah.
And I thought, maybe the spiral is some class. Nope. Again, I think it's on purpose, by the way.
Oh, he leads you on.
He wants you to think, the spiral means this. No, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
It's really good.
At the beginning, when it's, just the dad, you think, oh, that was weird. He was so weird.
Yeah.
Nope.
No. It's just...
But you should have known it wasn't just him from the beginning, because even the air and the water is all spiraling. Yeah. It's so funny, by the way, in the beginning when Shuichi's like, look at the whirlpools. That's not normal.
Yeah. And he's like, come on.
And then she's like, what are you talking about?
Also, I thought he would be the main character, Shuichi.
Yeah.
I did like the switch where the main character is this sort of unbiased POV, where she's just observing it the same way we are.
He would have been unbearable.
Yeah. She learns everything at the exact moment that we learn everything, which obviously creates fear. Right, that's a basic, but whatever.
Yeah, it's quite good, and I really liked the town slowly turning into a spiral itself. It was
pretty good.
There was this weird thing going on where too sudden of a movement would cause a tornado.
I didn't like that.
There
was superpowers for a minute there,
but I thought it was funny because, or I didn't think it was funny. I thought it was good only in the sense that it forced them to move slowly, but also moving slowly turns you into a snail. So they had to move fast enough to not turn into a snail, but slowly enough to not literally make a tornado.
I think it's also good just because it does kind of make me want to see a Junji Ito. Why can't I say his name?
I really don't know.
Say it again.
Junji Ito.
Junji Ito.
Junji.
Junji Ito.
Ito.
Junji Ito action comic, just because there is a few panels here where it's
he knows what he's doing.
Where it's they are, if they move for some reason, it creates a whirl, a hurricane, and it looks like a superhero fight, clearly on purpose. Obviously, he's not interested in doing that. Whatever. But anyways, he could. Really well.
This story is really similar to Hellstar Ramina, because a moment like that happens, and it's better in the other one.
I love when artists do that, when they're like, oh yeah, I can do that other genre you like better, but I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, I would really be interested to see which one came out first. I really don't know.
It came out in 98, I think.
Can you... Jamie,
pull up the clip. Pull up the clip of us looking up on Wikipedia. While Oscar's doing that, what book should we read next week?
Hellstar Ramina was published in 2005.
Yeah, that's after.
So yeah, I think my final take about this is Hellstar Ramina is the more refined version of Uzumaki, and while you should absolutely read this,
you should read this copy.
Give Hellstar Ramina a read too. It's real good.
You should read this copy. This is the best copy. I did extensive research.
Oh,
it's the 3-in-1, whatever that means. The pages...
It's 3 volumes.
Oh, okay. The pages look really nice.
This is really good.
Also, they have this little thing.
It's
Honestly,
pretty
it's
cool.
worth the price of admission just for this. This is really nice.
By the way, you can see they're spiraled into each other.
Yeah.
Which is
Which, by the way, when I looked at this when I first read it, I thought nothing of it because of yeah.
Anyway, how much does this cost? I mean, it's pretty affordable, right?
This was like I got this on sale. The tag price is $27. I got this for $12 though.
It's so worth it.
Yeah, I got it on sale for $12.
So
this book came out so long ago. There's no way you're gonna be paying full price. Anyways, what do you want to read? Do we want to read a horror comic next week again?
No, I mean we can read whatever you want. This is your week.
I'll think about it.
Because each of us, we only get one chance a month to bring in what we want.
Well, should I just bring in something that I have to read soon, anyways? Because I've been meaning to read.
No, just bring something. Bring whatever you want. Should
I read something? Okay, should it be something I've read before or not read before?
I hadn't read this before.
What if I bring a comic I've never read that I've... Oh my god. That's what we're gonna do.
Okay, what do you think?
I don't know. I don't know yet. It's gonna be sci-fi, though. It might be written by Jeff Lemire. It might be called Sentience. I haven't decided yet.
Who is Jeff Lemire?
He's a really good writer.
Is he as good as Ito Junji?
I think he is, I mean, I like him significantly. Everything he's written, I like way better than I like this. Yeah. But also, I like the stuff he writes more because it's more attuned to my tastes. So, I'm not gonna...
You really answered that. I just thought you would be like, haha, and then we would move on.
Nah, dude. Start a comment war.
It's good for our engagement.
It's the best thing for our engagement.
Guys, did you see... We posted the funniest TikToks about... We posted the funniest TikToks they ever made ever.
I don't think we should talk about them. I don't think people should know what they're about before they watch them.
Watch every TikTok we've ever posted.
Watch them.
Watch every TikTok we've ever posted, and then you'll get what we're talking about.
You will know what we're talking about. Also, by the way, there was a hate-fueled fight in our comments the other day on TikTok.
Oh, about One Piece.
About One Piece. Keep doing that. We love that.
It didn't make any sense.
It didn't make any sense.
I posted a clip of us just joking that Oda should just end it because... Or that he doesn't end it because he hates his wife.
Because he's like gay or something.
And then the people in the comments took it so personally. They were like, actually, he shouldn't end it.
And it didn't make any sense, so I don't know what to say. But if you guys do comment like intense hate and it makes sense, we'll respond.
I'll respond.
Yeah, Oscar will respond. It's not a good idea to let me loose.
Max is a demon on the keys. Okay.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Wait. What do you give this out of 10? Out of 5?
I give this out of 5 and the infinity symbol. Cause it's a loop.
Yeah. I give this 3 overdeveloped babies out of 5 blood-starved pregnant women.
Yeah. Also, by the way, Naruto's last name is Uzumaki. If you look up what does Uzumaki, it's like Naruto.
Naruto Uzumaki.
It's crazy.
Anyway, for anyone who's keeping track, by the way, Max played paper, and I played rock.
Yeah. All right. We'll talk to you guys next week.
On the flip.